What's going on, everybody? Kalipis Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review and tips and tricks videos for it as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So my first reason to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022 is the overall design. Now, despite not having the thinnest bezels or a hole punch front-facing camera or anything fancy like that, this phone does have a nice, sleek, modern look, a decently slim design that makes it comfortable to hold in your hand and not too bulky to carry in your pocket. And the materials are really solid. I will say that for an entry-level phone, this phone really doesn't feel like an entry-level phone. It feels a lot more like a mid-range phone. In fact, I've seen a lot of phones that are double the price of this one that don't have nearly this kind of quality. And compared to most phones in this price range, those phones always seem to feel like they're made of cheap plastic and they have no weight to them or anything like that, usually flimsy buttons and stuff like that too. But with this phone, it does have quite a bit of weight to it, giving it a nice premium feel. And the buttons are also really solid, which I can definitely appreciate. So overall, if you're looking for an entry-level phone that's really well built and has a more premium feel to it, then you're really gonna like this phone. My second reason to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022 is the large display. Now, this phone has a 6.52-inch LCD display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 269, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. So while the specs on paper are pretty much the same as the average entry-level phone, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because at 6.52 inches, this display is definitely large enough to give you the benefits of having a larger display, while at the same time not being so large that it's uncomfortable to hold and just unwieldy in general to carry in your pocket. So for any kind of content consumption, whether you're streaming videos, playing a game, reading, or even just generally using the phone, everything's gonna show up larger on here. The keyboard's gonna be bigger, so it's gonna be easier to use. And overall, a display of this size is gonna give you a better experience in general. In addition to this, we got a pretty tall and narrow form factor here, which is going to give videos a nice cinematic look in landscape mode. And when you're reading, you can fit more on the screen without having to scroll as much. And finally, even though this really has nothing to do with the display size, the quality is really impressive for just being a regular LCD display with a 720p resolution. The colors are really bright, the image is sharp, and everything just looks good on this display. If I read the specs just in and of themselves, I wouldn't have expected it to look this good. And definitely compared to other entry-level phones in the same price range, this phone's display is really going to stand out a lot. My third reason to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022 is the battery. Now, this phone is getting a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, so this is pretty much the biggest battery you can get. Now, there are other phones out there that have 6,000 milliamp hour batteries and stuff like that, but they're really uncommon, and most of those I want to say are international phones, so they're not even very easy to get. So in general, this phone with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery is definitely among the best, especially in the US market. With a battery of this size, you're not only going to get a lot of battery life throughout the day, it's probably going to last multiple days, even if you're using it a lot. To give you a good idea of what this looks like, I've probably shot like 10 videos today, so this screen has been on for literal hours, and we're still at 92%. I haven't charged it since yesterday, so that really just goes to show how good this phone's battery really is. In addition to this, since the battery is so big, down the road, as the battery starts to degrade, which all batteries do, as this phone's battery starts to lose capacity, you're probably not going to notice it for quite a while compared to a smaller battery, since you're already going to be starting with way more battery life than you need. So overall, if battery life and longevity is one of your top priorities, this phone's going to be a great choice for you. My fourth reason to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022 is the overall software. Now, this phone does have Android 11 right now, so we're not quite to Android 12. Hopefully there will be an update in the future. But one thing I especially like about this phone's software is just the overall TCL skin. It's so nice. It comes with a cool looking gallery app, a music app, which I don't know how many of you use a music app as opposed to Spotify or something, but it's cool that this is there. Same thing with video. And one thing I really appreciate about this phone is that there's little to no bloatware at all. There are lots of phones out there that have tons of random apps that no one wants to use, and they just take up space and they're annoying. Whereas with this phone, it really really has the bare minimum, giving you plenty of space to customize it to your liking. In addition to this, TCL's Android skin runs really smoothly. Now, not to say that other skins like Motorola and Samsung's don't, but it just looks nice, feels modern, and everything is really just how I imagine it's supposed to be. There are even some really little subtle things in the settings that I really like about TCL's skin that you wouldn't even notice until you're really using the phone a lot. Now, if you want to learn more about that, definitely check out my tips and tricks videos for this phone as well, where I go over its features more in depth. But in general, I really am a huge fan of TCL's Android skin. It is really nice, and it's definitely one of my favorite Android skins I've ever used. Now, my fifth reason to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022 is the fingerprint scanner and face unlock. Now, while this isn't really uncommon by any means, it's still nice to see that we have both a fingerprint scanner right here on the back and face unlock as well. Not every phone has both options. In fact, even the iPhone 13 doesn't have both options. So it is nice to see that with this phone, we do get both the fingerprint scanner and face unlock, because especially with this lower mid-range tier of phones, not every phone does seem to have it. In addition to this, both the fingerprint scanner and the face unlock work really well. So let me show you so you can see it for yourself. So we're going to start with the fingerprint scanner. There we go, one more time. And there we go. So as you can see, this fingerprint scanner is real fast and responsive. I'm just gonna do that one more time. No issues here at all. It unlocks almost instantly. And now for the face unlock. There we go, one more time. And there we go. So as you can see, you barely even need to do anything at all. I honestly feel like the TCL 20XE actually unlocks with face unlock even faster than the iPhone 13. And the iPhone 13 is a top of the line flagship phone. So that just really goes to show how well this system works. Now, security features like a fingerprint scanner and face unlock are really minor things in the grand scheme of things. So they're not really a game changer or anything like that. But it's nice to know that with this phone, you're probably not going to have any trouble unlocking it. But those were 5 reasons to buy the TCL 20XE in 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And again, if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review and tips and tricks videos for it as well, where I go more in depth about its features and specs. But that's it for this video. As always, I will see you in the next one.